All right, welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. This is Chat and Chow, where we have lunch with our friends and we have conversations with our friends, and we try and keep everything light and positive and encouraging. And sometimes we talk about things in the industry, sometimes we don't. It's just a matter of kind of where the conversation goes, like it would at a lunchroom table that we can't sit at anymore. So this is just a way for us to connect with our friends and people in the industry and people in the know in different areas, and just see how things are going and say hello and have conversations. I'm Tony from Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales. We do everything from polishing and mold finishing, laser welding, laser engraving, hot runner manifold cleaning, mold maintenance. We build and sell laser welding equipment. That's the only advertising you're going to get from me today. And I am lucky enough to have my friends from New York with me, Camille and Wally Sackett. How are you all?
Good morning, Tony. Good afternoon, depending on where you are.
Yeah, depending on where you are. It is afternoon there, isn't it? In New York?
It is, yes.
That's good. You made it through the morning, a good Friday morning.
Yeah, a beautiful morning here in Fairport, New York today.
Yeah, sun's shining, birds are chirping.
Almost 80 degrees.
Looks like it's going to be hitting the upper 80s toward the middle to end of the weeks next week. So we're my children are really looking forward to it.
I've been in New York one time. I was in the Montauk area.
Downstate.
It's on my to-do list to come back and visit you guys and Courier and other things, but not till I can go out to eat and know where I'm going to stay and everything else. So we'll get there. I mean, we'll get there, right? So
it's a Ron Ringleton. He lives in the same town. He's in Fairport.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, his son graduated from the same school as our daughter last year.
Nice. It's nice when your industry friends bleed over into your regular friends, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a small community.
But it's a great community.
Awesome.
That's what I've noticed more than anything, is that how welcoming it is, how welcoming especially the mold making industry is. And I haven't ran into many people that were jerks or, not willing to be helpful or encouraging or whatever. So that's been really good. Scott Smith is watching on Facebook.
Scott's one of our besties too. He doesn't live very far either.
Hello, Scott.
That means I might get to come see Scott also whenever this is over and I come to New York. We're going to have one big party.
We're allowed to have 10 people for gathering. Scott should put his mask on and he could make it before the end of this interview.
Scott is joining us on the 12th.
Nice.
Which I am fully aware that my face is going to hurt from laughing.
He is
through
amazing.
the entire thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you do these every Friday now?
Every Monday we talk to Hillary from Westminster Tool, and then Thursday and Fridays.
Okay.
So it's been a lot of fun for me to I keep saying, if nobody watches, it's totally okay, because I get an excuse to talk to my friends. So it's been good. Yeah. And now Scott's watching, so that's something. He'll give me a hard time about this at some point.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure it'll continue to grow every week. A bunch of some people were reaching out to me earlier this week. They had seen it on LinkedIn that we were on, and they were asking me about it. So I'll have to check it out.
Well, I saw that Roger liked the post today.
Oh, good.
So, and I asked him if there was any dirt that he needed me to share on you guys today, but I have not heard back.
Oh boy.
List.
There's still time though. There's still time.
Yeah. It's hard in a little tool shop to keep anything a secret. The grapevine travels very quickly.
It really does. And somehow the game of telephone is much better when it's a negative thing than when it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Like they get every detail right when it's something they can tease you for. But if it's something that you get credit for, it's like they forget about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Doesn't really exist.
Bad and screw up, everybody knows about it. When you do something good, you're the only one that knows about it.
It's so true. You got to wave a flag like, hey, did you see this? And they're like, So
Yeah.
we'll talk to you when you drop something or you you damage a machine. Then we'll bring it up.
Yeah, mold makers.
Yeah, that's why we started the box of awesome at work, because I got tired of like hearing that stuff, right? Like, oh, this person did that and this person did that and that person did that, and nobody ever said like, oh, that person picked up a screw that was on the floor, so nobody else stepped on it. So we made a box of awesome, and then we only every month, we haven't been able to do it now, which is killing me. We have a team lunch, and then we go through the box of awesome and we announce all the stuff that people did that
That's
was
cool.
noteworthy. And, I like it. I don't know if anybody else likes it.
I know. Do you think our mold makers would do it?
I'll have to put a note in our suggestion box to get that going.
They'll have fun with it. They'll twist it around to be a wise guy thing for sure. They'll figure out a way to do it.
And that's fun too. I mean,
yeah,
as long as there's some engagement, I'm okay with it. I mean, you can be a smart aleck. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, because it makes people laugh. Like our team lunches are just kind of for that. Like we don't really talk about work. We talk about successes and then just kind of have fun with it. So it's good.
Awesome.
So, how frequently do you do the team lunches?
Every month, the end of the month, nice. the last Friday of the month. Yeah, we'll usually grill out, or we'll buy pizza or something along those lines. When it's nice out, we like to grill.
Yeah.
And then we've got, we usually have 40 people from our staff. I mean, that's most of our staff. We've got a team out in California as well. But typically it's around 40 people. A couple customers might come every once in a while. And then we have some announcements, and then just everybody sits together and we eat together, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. I like it.
You have to ask Scott about Accede. One of our biggest traditions is our turkey day. Wow, you look forward to that. How many? So it's usually after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas.
Yeah. And they will fry up, 4 or 5 turkeys and chicken wings and a ham. And then everybody brings in a dish to pass. Become quite popular. And we'll bring in some of our, our closer customers will stop by, and some of our old alumni will come in, and usually a very fun event. Last year,
that's awesome.
Incorporated a new a cornhole tournament throughout the day as well.
Nice.
Got a couple of games going, rotating through the staff.
Scott says they know how to eat, man.
We call it the Accede 15. Like when you go to college, when you start working, you instantly gain 15 pounds
in one day.
Over a month probably, but after 30 years, I'm trying to go the other way now. I'm trying to back it down a little bit.
Yeah, we found that we also are really good at eating. So last year we did a weight loss challenge in February.
We should do this.
And one guy pushed it so far. Like he went a month with drinking like cayenne pepper, lemon juice, and not eating anything. And he won. He lost like 70 pounds, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And he wasn't huge to begin with, but he wanted to win because there was a cash prize. What I should have done is said, you have to keep it off till the following year, or you have to return the money, because now everybody's like, we need to do that again. And I think most people, this is not to be mean, it's just honest, their starting weights might be where they're more than their starting weights were the year before, because we did it. I think it was 3 or 4 months that we went, because we were trying to make like a sustainable.
Sure.
Yeah. And if it's just a week or 2 weeks or a month, anybody can do that, and you can just put it back on. But we thought if it was a longer term thing, then you're going to learn those habits, and it's going to be a positive thing long term. But
lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Money's a motivator.
And we had it in teams, because we thought it's not fair for everybody, because somebody might have 5 pounds to lose that they want to lose. Somebody's got 30, 40, 50 pounds that they want to lose. So we paired people up based on weights, so that it was comparable what they had to lose. And then we went by percentage of body fat we had a whole, or no, we went by percentage of weight loss.
Yeah.
So we had a whole system because otherwise it just doesn't make sense.
The percentage makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got Casey Miller is here on YouTube from Kingston Mold in California. Lindsay Diamond is here. She's in Minnesota. She's going to be on the show. And then Emily Ladder from MWI in Rochester.
Very nice.
So you guys got some fans. It's nice.
Got a following.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. So do you guys see each other every day at work?
I start early in the morning, and Camille kind of pops in and out sometimes. Usually, yeah. Offices are right down the hall from each other.
Yeah.
Do you get home and just not want to talk about work at all? Like, I don't care what happened today. I was there.
Generally, I could talk about something else when I get home. After 10 or 11 hours, I get home and Camille wants to start talking about some big deal that went down or some merger going on somewhere. And
yeah. Well, that's it. We sign NDAs. And so I feel like that's a benefit that, normally you can't talk about some of the projects that you're working on. Here's an opportunity that I'm not breaking an NDA and we can,
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because my wife, Kelly's listening too on YouTube. So she won't disagree with this, but we used to work together. We had a marketing company. We worked together in the same room, back to back. And so we were together all day. And we got along fine, but then we had nothing to talk about because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, what did you do today? You know what I did. Like,
right. Any little thing that came up, anything little thing that came up, you can just turn around and talk to her during the day about it.
Yeah. Justin Church asks Wally R/ were you a mold maker? Do you still design and build molds yourself?
I was never a mold maker. I have been in engineering for my entire career at Accede. I started out as, when I started out, they were just starting to get into the 3D atmosphere.
Okay.
So I started out as a detailer. I was providing the detail drawings for our engineering staff. And then I've grown into, mold design development. And it's been kind of a interesting ride with all the changes in technology and things. It's been a very challenging industry to watch go forward.
And how long ago was that?
I've been there 30 years this July, Accede, so it's been a long time.
Who was there first?
I was.
So much older.
Well, I didn't say who was older. I said who was there first.
I started in 1993. So Wally started in 1990.
Yeah.
I started in 93.
Okay.
Both in engineering.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you meet there?
We did. Yes.
Workplace romances. How nice.
Yeah.
It was a long time. What was not for how long would you say it was? It was maybe 5 years.
Yeah, it wasn't overnight. I was just talking with a coworker about this, a newer gentleman who'd started recently. He was he obviously knew we had the same last name, but he didn't put the connection together for some reason. And he was inquiring as to what our status was. So I found this out after being at Accede for 4 or 5 months. So it was kind of funny talking to him, and funny how people what their assumptions are when just certain things come up.
Yeah.
They interpret them and what goes through their minds.
Yeah.
And you had to go did you want to play with them a little bit first?
No, I didn't. He was very sincere, so I didn't want to mess with him too much.
Well, that's good. That's because you're not the mold maker.
Yeah. But Camille actually started on nights and I was on days. So it was, we didn't, spend a lot of time together initially. It was more of a partner thing during our work experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it just all worked together and you went, yes.
No, I don't have to worry. So good.
We can have our dates at lunch. It's much cheaper than dinner.
Absolutely.
My birthday falls next to, this was going to come up.
Actually, I didn't know it was coming up, but now I can see where it's going now.
My birthday is near the Accede Christmas party. And to Scott's point that we know how to eat, the family has a beautiful 5-course dinner at a local Italian restaurant, takes over the restaurant. So it's also paying it forward to this nice Italian restaurant that they've had this tradition for like 30 years. So that's my birthday dinner every year.
That's nice.
Works out very well. Every year I tell her happy birthday at the dinner.
He's not kidding either.
I actually did that to my wife this year. It was accidental. I'm not gonna lie. We had our golf outing, and Chandler is one of our customers in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was talking with Jim, and I know what date my wife's birthday is, but I don't know what day it is today. Does that make sense? So like,
oh, sure.
So I always lose track of the days.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was talking to Jim, and he was like, we need to get together and go for pizza. I was like, cool, Friday, let's go. And then he's like, yeah, we're doing it. And then Kelly was at the golf outing, and I said, hey, we don't have any plans on Friday, right? And she was like, no. I said, cool, we're going to dinner with Jim, and it'll be great, blah, blah, blah. We'll bring the kids, everything will be fine. And she was like, oh, okay. And then like an hour later, I was like, oh, that's the 20th. But she was a good sport. We went to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It was all good. Casey Miller says that her and her husband also work together, and everybody thinks that he's her brother.
That's what we get. And we have so many coworkers that will say they would never know, because you're professional.
Yeah.
It carries over, I would say, at home, that we can co-parent and work well together because we're used to working together.
Well, good for you guys for being able to do it professionally. Yeah. She even says it's not easy working with your spouse all the time. It can be.
It can be, and it can, I'm sure. I mean, it's like anything else. It has its pluses and negatives. Yeah. So, yeah, generally it's been good.
One of the biggest pluses for us, so for our roles, Wally's still in engineering. I've transitioned into the more of the sales and business and marketing. So I have a fair amount of travel. With us being both working for the same employer, we're able to flex our schedules. And same thing, if he's out visiting a customer and needs to travel, then my travel is typically not booked at the same time. I've 25 years, I've never had a conflict where we're both traveling at the same time, where that's not normal. So that's an advantage, and having that flexibility. And then also an empathy that you have, that I've worked in the same position. So there's times where Wally's working 7 days a week on tool designs.
Yeah.
He's the workhorse of our engineering department is sort of his nickname. That some spouses might get frustrated with that sort of what could be perceived as being a workaholic, but we're on the same team, and knowing that the tools need to get designed, stuff needs to get to the floor, molds need to get out. So we get it.
Yep. And there's benefit for both of you to, do awesome at your job, because you're benefiting the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Same team.
All the way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did your daughter have fun at the trade show at MD&M?
She did. That's what's fun. So 3 kids that we could sit at the dining room table, and, our mold making language, you talk about core pins or shutoffs or flashing or gates, and all 3 kids, they're picking up parts and looking at them. But she had a good time in Anaheim. But she came away, and I said, so what do you think? And she said, I still want to be a doctor. So,
I think it was good for her, though, seeing all the work atmosphere and all the people coming together, all these different companies. Obviously, her going into college, I think it kind of showed her, what some things she might be looking to in her future, trade shows and things like that. I think it was a great experience for her to see that.
I think it's something that everybody should experience at some point, right? I always say that I wish the people that are on the floor here could go and be part of the trade show experience and see what that's actually like, see what the travel side of things is like, and just, everybody should have a small opportunity to live somebody else's role. So they have a gratitude for what they have to do and what other people have to do.
Oh yeah, understanding and appreciation, absolutely. And I mean, even too, it just opens your eyes to a completely new industry, the industry of those trade shows and what and goes through and how the convention center can turn over. And so we use locally, I subcontract design and booth management as far as, hiring labor and knowing the show regs. I use a contractor here in Rochester, Apogee, and what this pandemic is doing to them. They've been able to pivot, and they were able to start producing some protective shielding for some of the stores and things like that. But that was a short response. So now what are they doing with this uncertainty going forward, and all the labor with Freeman not having work? So it gives you a bigger understanding of where you fit in the economy and how people are being impacted.
Based on the costs that Freeman charges, I think they're going to be okay for a little while. I don't think Freeman's going to run out of money anytime soon. That's just my humble opinion.
Like that, billions of dollars in federal money for the bailout and what they charge.
I thought you were going to say billions of dollars in extension cord rentals. You guys always have a great booth, though.
Thank you. Yeah. Great team. Absolutely. Have a great team.
I remember talking to you about that at MD&M.
Yeah.
What does Justin say? Justin asks, all mold makers should get a chance to experience MD&M. Many mold makers never get the chance. I agree.
I love them, especially NPE. And also too, for your team, and we've talked about that for years. That's been, Roger wants to get more people to the shows, but it's difficult and we have 68 employees.
Yep.
Everyone's wearing multiple hats to try and get work done, to commit to sending people out for a week. So our intention for the 2021 show cycle was to break the week up and try and send more people, more faces to rotate. But we'll see what NPE 2021, how that all plays out. Time will tell.
I was talking to Glenn Starkey, and he thinks that MD&M will be the first real show to open back up. And then NPE will be the one after that.
I agree. I'm on the sales and marketing committee with Glenn for NPE, and I'm excited. We're fortunate that it is in the middle of June, that it wasn't slated like Fakuma being canceled in Europe. But time will tell. We'll see. I don't know. From New York, and like I say, I see where the curve is, and we've hit the apex, and we're well back down to where we were level wise as to the mid-March.
Yep.
The safety protocols, we talked a little bit about what they're still implementing for school. What are they going to implement at trade shows? So will it be the same thing? You're going to be wearing masks, and are you going to be able to have the interactions that make those experiences what they are? Right.
And that's where I think it's exciting to see what Gardner is doing with their Mold Connects. Are you guys signed up for that?
We have so many people signed up. We have the entire engineering team is signed up for Mold Connects, and then all of our mold makers are signed up. So yeah, we're super excited. What they were able to pull together in 6 weeks looks phenomenal.
Yeah, they did it. I was on the phone yesterday with Christina because we're trying to get our virtual trade show floor finished and set up. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do, and they're doing a good job doing it. And I think they're answering questions well and helping vendors navigate through that situation. And it sounds like they're going to have some good things. It's nice to hear people excited for participating in it.
We were able to have more participation because it is a remote experience. Normally, at most, we'd send 3 people, and that couldn't even always be every year.
Yep.
Of workload. We have a very, very heavy workload, especially right now, in responding to customer demands for essential components that need to get out for frontline response to the COVID crisis. So we've been able, because of the format, more people can engage and participate. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's really encouraging to me to hear that, because sometimes I feel like the mold making industry is a little bit behind on the technology side of things. You know, when you're looking at social media or, you know, engagement with LinkedIn or whatever, like you can look and everybody's got a LinkedIn page. They just haven't used it in 4 years. Like they built one and that's it. And to then say all of this is going to be geared towards online sales and movement. It's like, can they do it? Are they going to have the attention to do that? Are they not going to get pulled in different directions? I don't know. I hope it goes well because we're participating and I want to see them succeed. And I think what would be great in the future is if they were able to combine both so that you can do that.
Yeah, I agree. We're fortunate. Our mix of, Wally's one of the oldest. He is the oldest engineer. He just celebrated his 50th birthday in quarantine. Wildly exciting, but most of the guys are younger, 30s, 20s, so they're more tech savvy. They have Instagram accounts and things like that. So I think they'll have a good experience, good engagement.
Yeah, that's one of the things I keep trying to encourage for the AMBA when they do the AMBA events is that you know, I would love to have more of my team there, but I can't. If they had an online version or, you know, where you could take back the talks from the speakers, it would be so good to be able to go back and watch those and share that experience with the team, because I suck at taking notes. I always have, whether it was school or whatever. I just immerse myself in what I'm doing and I take in the nuggets that resonate with me. And then I come back and I try and share it, but it's different me telling Troy Nix's story than Troy Nix telling Troy Nix's story.
I agree 100%.
And I think I would even be willing to pay a little bit more if they could do that. Like if they would say, here, it's a digital download version of all the speakers or whatever, or maybe somebody sponsors it. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Rachel, if you're listening, these are some ideas.
Seems like a good idea.
Free ideas for you.
So we're a sponsor for Caps and Closures in Chicago every year, and I bring back those slideshows. Did any of you guys watch them?
I have not. No.
So it has to be more engaging than a PowerPoint because, again, they as an exhibitor we do get a copy of all of the presentations, their slides.
Yeah.
Not engaging enough that no matter how much I'm cheerleading and saying this is great information, they're not picking it up and looking at it. And
you can't present it the same way. That's why I like this one, the Global Leadership Summit.
Yes.
I just bought, it's all the speakers and it's just the video of the speakers. And then we can do, 1 hour lunch and learns upstairs and get some pizza and sit and then watch the conversation and then engage together and have a talk about it.
Yeah.
I think the lunch and learns are better, getting everyone together in one place versus sending it to everybody. And when you're working big workload, trying to take the time to do something like that, it's very difficult.
Yeah. And I think it's incredibly valuable. Like I wanted to bring more people to the AMBA conference this year. That is not happening because of everything. And they're doing a good job doing some virtual stuff also, but man, it's just, it's expensive to get everybody out there and lose them for the day, the people that you would like to have there. And you don't want to pick and choose what sessions to send them to. And I just think it would be it's a good option.
Yeah.
Rachel,
absolutely.
Kim, Troy, Susan.
Yes.
They giving you the thumbs up?
I don't know. I'm supposed to, yeah, I'll find out later. Sometimes I wonder if people like my opinions or they just want me to shut up. I don't know. Like I even told here, I'll run it by you because I'm constantly telling Christina and I had a conversation with Allison Klein about it from Gardner that I personally, as a supplier or as an advertiser, or whatever you want to call it, I wish they would do like a red carpet award ceremony at Amerimold of some sorts where they would have it would be like the Academy Awards for the industry. So you would talk about the best as voted by the readers, right? It's got to be voted by the readers, not just based on marketing dollars or whatever. Best caption closures company, best automotive company, best laser welding company, best polishing supplier, best whatever. And the thing that I've always heard back, she's going to hate me for this. The thing I've always heard back is, well, what if we upset somebody because they didn't win? Well, then they need to do a better job. That's if they're upset because they didn't win, that's on them, not on you.
Yeah. I think it'd be a fun
And
idea.
this would be people attending the show would be voting on all these different categories.
Either that, or they could send out a survey beforehand so that they could plan all that, get it all ready, and then narrow it down to maybe the top 3 people, so that you would do it literally like the Academy Awards and
Sure.
those people and have them come up, let them give a little speech to thank their team and their staff and everything else. If you think it's a good idea and you're listening, you should send that to Christina Fuges and tell her that you agree with me.
Yeah.
See, this is how I get myself in trouble.
You're going to start getting cancellations on your Friday chat and chows.
Well, Christina and Allie are joining us on the 5th to talk about AmeriMold Connects and try and
that's exciting.
Get some last bit of excitement and interest for that. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I figure while I have a captive audience of people that would be part of that voting process,
this is
I get some feedback. Some feedback on it.
Absolutely.
So what's the rest of the day for you guys? Is it a day off? Is it a work from home day?
It's a work. I have a bunch of work to do. I have quotes to get out and more work to do, some QMS processes stuff. It's almost time for our annual audit for our quality system. It's not a re-reg, it's just a regular surveillance audit. So homework for that. But Wally's got big plans.
I'm off today, so I'm
attaboy.
I've been working on our family room for the last week or so. Today I'm going to be painting, and then I can get that done so that I can get outside this coming week and move on to some other things.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little more exciting.
Yeah, that's good. I'm lucky. My wife loves to paint. It's like a hobby of hers.
Really?
So if we lived in New York, she might come over and do that for you, but we don't.
If she was only closer.
Yeah, if she was only closer. Or if we had that trip planned already and we were already there, we'd just say, hey, let's go over to the Camille and Wally's house, and then we'll hang out. We can all paint together and get some pizza or whatever.
I could supply the masks.
Yeah. Oh, the masks. I'm over the masks.
We have, and Wally's has 2 fishing boats, and because we're in the Finger Lakes region of New York, so you're big fishermen, and Lake Ontario as well, like you with Michigan.
All right. So you guys tell me when it's safe to come out, and we'll make a trip. I've already threatened my family that we're going to take some driving trips when everything kind of clears up a little bit, because we're tired of being cooped up, and like there's no point in going to Disney because that's going to be closed forever. So it'll be we'll go places where we can go hiking or see people we know, and just do those kind of things instead of relying on theme parks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Finger Lakes is amazing.
Miles out in the middle of a lake is the perfect place to be.
Yeah. How are you guys doing work-wise? Are you guys quoting a lot? Are you busy? Is there a lot coming up?
Well, we were busy before the pandemic started, and since it has started, we've been taking on several medical programs involved with the COVID testing and things. So that's provided a whole new layer of work for us. So we've had to do some juggling around with some of our scheduling to accommodate these. Yep. So, our manufacturing is at full capacity right now. So
that's awesome.
It's been nice. Obviously not for good reason, but we're taking advantage of it.
You got to take advantage of the situations that you're given. I mean, you can't.
So that's the work. It's not even like we're pivoting and calling on new opportunities or new work. They were existing clients that we had.
Yep.
And devices we had already built tooling for. And so building additional systems. And again, it's one of those, if you're in operations, it's a nightmare. Brett Lindenmuth, who's our VP of operations, what he's having to do to try and make everything happen. We've got new equipment coming in, additional machinos, new wet grinder. So poor Brett, when this settles down, he needs to go on a cruise or something, or go just get relaxed, because it wasn't anything that we were trying to, taking advantage of the opportunity. If anything, it's pushing and challenging people to really dig deep. It's been difficult.
We've been fortunate though. We, no one's gotten sick. We've been able to stay open. We've been kind of, people that can work from home. We've been doing that. So they've been taking precautions. Everyone comes in, gets your temperature checked and everything. So we've been very fortunate. We've been able to keep everything moving forward.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone test positive, even though in New York State we have more people that did test positive than in New York State than there was in any other even country. Again,
I think Chicago's right there with you.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And still no one. Roger looked at the owner of the company. He said he was going to put the safety of the employees first and making sure that people weren't, because there's a paranoia in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I come into work, am I going to get sick and bring it home to my family? So immediately, before there were any mandates by the government, he took measures to make sure that everyone felt comfortable and safe and felt good about, the work that we're doing, how meaningful it is and how necessary it is. So the leadership has been amazing through this. And again, for as far as scheduling workload and managing the customer relationships, because some programs had to be put on hold because they don't qualify as essential. Very impressed with the team and the work that they put in.
I think right now is a very cool time, because you said, it's not that we're trying to take advantage of the situation, but it's something awesome to be able to build meaningful tools and parts and things that are actually having a real impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, with all this talk about, a year from now having a potential cure or a vaccine or whatnot, it's going to be kind of fun to watch going forward, what kind of impacts they do have on this virus. So
yeah, what's been not entertaining, kind of entertaining is and we can go down a whole political rabbit hole that I don't necessarily want to do, but it's just one of those things where it's like when people were very upset that there wasn't testing or there wasn't whatever, like trying to explain to people what actually goes into the manufacturing process of anything, much less something so sophisticated as testing.
Absolutely.
And how long that actually takes to go from design to engineering to sourcing to mold production to running parts to having the parts to having the instruction booklets to getting the packaging and then shipping it. It's insane. And
especially in the medical industry itself, with all of the protocols and things that they need to follow through on for all the qualifications, it's the time that it takes to do all that's amazing.
Yeah. And it was expedited so well.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And one thing we're seeing now too that's kind of exciting is, due to the large capacity, we've had to, some of our customers have had to spread out to multiple mold builders, all these different programs, and we're all using basically the same design, and we're having weekly calls, and some of the molds are being in debug right now, and some are being built. So we're having calls, where we got to implement the changes that they're doing to, dimensionally bring this part into spec, and it's constantly having to. And still, they don't want the timeline to change. So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Never been able to collaborate with other mold shops like that. So your competition, now everyone's working together for a common goal. So that is a neat positive. I think we've worked, so Accede, if you look at our portfolio, we've been fortunate. We've got a lot of, a good mix of, sort of that top 50 molders, and then we've also got smaller molders. And then if you look at the spread of the work, typically it's a third of our work has always been medical.
Yep.
Always, in the last 25 years, a third is medical, a third is consumer packaging, and the last split is a mixed bag of industrial and some high-end automotive. So we've been fortunate. You look back on a lot of the programs that we've worked on in the past have been able to be meaningful and change people's lives. that's one of the reasons why I love working in this industry, and specifically for Accede, is the opportunity to have a small, be able to work with that and have a small piece of that, having worked on it. It's been fun.
Yeah. I wish they would cover that in school somehow, like the supply chain and how that works, right?
Absolutely. So manufacturing day. Does Alliance participate in a manufacturing day?
We have, yes.
And that's a great opportunity. So now with schools all having to do remote learning, and I might call on you as a mentor for the graphic stuff, but we're planning on putting together a piece that we can share with the middle school and high school tech teachers, so that they can share that instead, because we're not going to be able to do, obviously, we normally would. We'll normally bus in, 100 something kids will come through in shifts, and they get to actually walk the entire process of having a mold built. So they'll start in engineering. They'll get to talk to Wally. He'll share about, what he loves about his job and what a mold designer does. Then they'll get to go out into manufacturing and walk throughout. We split our manufacturing department up into various specialty departments.
Yep.
They'll go through CNC milling. They'll go, CNC lathe, EDM, wire EDM, grinding. They get to see polish, and then they get to see a mold sample.
Yep.
And see what the validation looks like. And then we'll show a promo video for one of the large contract manufacturers that's here in New York, not far from us, one of our customers, so they can watch that company's promo to see what happens next once the mold is shipped. So we're going to do that virtually, and it's fun for our team to be able to, it reinforces, what do you love about your job? That's what they need, and why are you doing it, and what makes it fun? So
yeah, let me know how I can help. I would love to help, because I think this is a perfect time to do a whole anecdotal story about the process and what it looks like. Because first you even have to identify the problem.
Mm-hmm.
What would freak me out more is if like COVID started and everybody went, hey, we have tests. It's day one. Here's all your tests. Because then you're like, wait, how did you know that this is how you do it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very, it's a very good time for education and what's happening and what goes into even, like a pen, right? Like what goes into that? What are the standards? What are the guidelines? What are the tolerances? What has to happen for this pen to go from concept on paper to in the store, and everything that goes along with it? And then you take something that's telling you if you're sick or not with something that nobody knows what's going on. I mean, it's got to be that much more stressful and sure. So I think this is a very, it could be a very cool thing for people to learn from.
Absolutely. It's a moment for manufacturing, spotlight on U.S. manufacturing for sure.
And I hope that it sticks around for a little while. I think we got about 18 to 24 months. That's my guess. Yeah. Before somebody goes, remember when we used to get this cheaper?
Yeah.
Well, that's where you have to differentiate yourself. So for us, what we've done is, instead of just building, the washer molds, open, close, we've differentiated ourselves in that we take on all the hard, complicated challenges that our competition can't do, or so that's how we've been able to compete. And
unfortunately for us, you just have everything you need right around you. It just doesn't do me any good. I mean, selfishly, it doesn't do me any good.
Well, we hope that we don't have to use the welding machine very often. That's a dirty word in our.
Yeah. So, but for you, supporting the molders, I mean, they smash parts. We don't make mistakes building their molds. They have to come out perfect. They're paying a lot of money for them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've heard that a lot, where they say we don't want to bring a laser welder in our shop because it's going to give people an excuse to make a mistake. They're going to think it's okay.
When you take a customer walk through, they don't want to see a laser welder in your shop, in a mold welder shop.
Well, on the bright side, listen, everybody makes mistakes. If we do now, we don't have any downtime. We're right back to working.
Yeah. It is nice though, having one right across the street. It's a very precise business, and you can mess it up pretty easy if you don't know what you're doing. So works out very nice just to send it over there and get it back the next day.
Yeah. I know. We've been doing some polishing work for Westminster now, because we're able to turn it around and get it back to them so quickly. So listen, if it's hard to find people in New York, it's only 1 day shipping. We'll get it done for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's hard when we have long-standing relationships.
I know, and I appreciate that with you guys, that you're that you have loyalty.
Very loyal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have started sending out most of our polishing now too, just for getting it back quicker and not taking up a lot of hands. It's it's just something that you can mess it up very easily and cause a lot of damage, and just send it out and get it back in a week and put it right in. You're done.
Yeah, when we first started in the early 90s, how many we must have had 5 or 6 polishers on staff, quite a few, and now we have just one person, one woman, and then also one Corey Fox, who's our mold making manager. He's very, very good at it, but then we rely on the guy, I know. They're great people. And
I know they are.
I know.
I know they're great people. I'm just saying, so am I. That's okay.
And absolutely. But you know how it's.
No pressure. I love you.
I'm sure the opportunity will arise. We're always looking for new vendors.
Yeah. Anything we can do to help.
Sure.
So normally we close with prayer. So I give everybody a quick chance, if you're listening and watching, to type something in or request some sort of prayer request that's redundant. But and then real quick, I'm going to go through a couple of people that we have coming on the show in case anybody is interested. I lost my train of thought for a hot second. My office is really warm right now. It must be getting warmer outside, which is
absolutely.
Which means I'm going to have lunch outside today, which is good.
Well, that's always good because usually we're a couple days and then we're getting whatever you're getting. So in a couple days, I know it's going to be nice and warm outside.
It's not bad right now.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to being able to have the top down on the Jeep and everything else this weekend. My daughter and I, that's part of our like date on the weekend, is to just drive around for a little bit and have fun. My son too. So you guys are here today, and then Monday Hillary's back. Dana and Jason from Carbon Additive will be here on the 28th, and then Paul Britton from International Mold Steel. Lindsay Diamond, who was listening with us today, from Metro Mold. Mark Densler, the Illinois Manufacturing Association. I'm excited to see what he has to say. And then Big Scotty will be here, and Troy Nix. And who's not on here. That is an
exciting lineup.
Yeah, it should be fun. And the one that's not on here, because I don't know why, because I didn't update my sheet. I'm sorry, Christina. Christina and Allie will be here on the 5th to talk about, Amerimold Connects and everything else that's going on with that, and how they're attempting to change what people are doing and expecting out of a trade show. So it's fun. I mean, it's been fun for me to continue doing. I'm going to keep doing it. It's fun. I enjoy it.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was a great experience.
All right. So nobody has any prayer requests. Everybody's life is great. That's good. It's like asking my wife when we go to small group. Her answer is always, I'm good, which is a good thing. So Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for allowing us to spend some time virtually with our friends. And I would just pray that everybody that's listening or will listen in the future, that their lives will be blessed beyond abundance, that you would continue to watch over us and provide for us, and then and use this pandemic and time and season as a way to teach us and mold us to better be the people that you want us to be, so that we can serve others with greater intention. We love you, and it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Guys, thank you so much for an hour, just under an hour. We made it under an hour.
Woohoo.
Glenn Starkey was the longest. Does that surprise you?
No, he's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Glenn and I could talk forever. It's a dangerous
thing. We were
thing.
next door neighbors. How fun.
Yeah. And we see each other more at trade shows than we do on a regular basis, because
I can believe it.
We're working, right? I mean, at least we're working.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Tony. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, but Thank you guys. Be safe, and hopefully we'll get out to New York soon and we can be on the boat, and we'll see how well you did at painting.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Tony.
Bye. That was another episode of Chat and Chow with the Manufacturing Alliance. Like I said, I'm Tony Demakis. And if you guys need any help as far as anything that has to do with mold maintenance or repair, I would be happy to talk with you and help you. I hope that you experienced a little bit of joy and laughed a little bit, got a little bit out of this, a little bit under an hour conversation. It was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. Until next time, take care and God bless.